Hey everyone, welcome back. This is part 2 of The Godfather. Part 1 was previously uploaded, so if you haven't checked out part 1 yet, go and check out part 1 before you check out part 2, unless you just wanted to watch me watch the last part of The Godfather, which is also acceptable because the last part of The Godfather is so good. The church scene, am I right? Anyways, this is post watching The Godfather, Oliver talking, so I'm just gonna be quiet, let you get into the video. You already know what happened during part 1, what my reactions were, what my I guess how much I've liked this movie. You've already gotten a feel for that, but yeah, I'm very excited to show you guys part 2 of this reaction. So I hope you enjoy my reaction to The Godfather. I was going to say Godfather part 2, but that is what the second movie is called. So I hope you enjoy my reaction to the second half of the video, which is the last bit of The Godfather, and then my review of the movie. So yeah, let's get into it now. They're in Italy, right? Because it looks very stunning and beautiful, but it doesn't look like I'm anywhere that I'm familiar with. I really want to go to Italy so bad one day. I'm hoping to go next year if COVID is done, but if not, then the year after that. Wow, what a city, what a place. What the heck? I want to go there. Is that an actual real place? Is that an actual place on the earth? Oh. Love at first sight. Love at first sight. He's just saying like this, repeating everyone. How could he tell that more Greek than Italian? Like the style that she dressed in or something?
But then your daughter would lose her father.
What? The threats?
Come si chiama vostra figlia? Apollonia.
Apollonia? That's her name? Like apple bologna? Dang it, now I forgot it. Now I can only remember apple bologna. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to call her that until I remember her name again. I'm so sorry. But what about your other girlfriend in America? She's so nice. I really liked her. Oh, why is Apple Bologna saying so far away? Sorry, I cannot call it Apple Bologna. That is so mean. I don't know, but I should call her Apple. I'll call her Apple.
Come on, we gotta go pick up my sister. Let's go.
Imagine have like an armed escort just to go over to like a lady's house. Imagine that. Is that like a broken fire hydrant or something like that?
Come here.
Ew. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You didn't even do anything. You just like bit his finger a little bit. Why are they like looking at each other and smiling? They're just staring straight ahead like... Is that bruise under his thing still from when he was slapped by the police officer, or is that something completely different now?
Well, that's an accident, but nobody was hurt.
Tom?
Thank you for giving the obvious. That's an accident. Yeah, obviously. I mean, I guess she asked a dumb question. So I won't make fun of the answer.
This little guinea brat.
Yeah, if I had just made someone dinner they didn't want to eat it, that would be so rude. This guy's about to die. The guy said, next time you hurt my sister, you're dead. The camera work in this, though, too. It's been one long take, pretty much. Oh my god, he's so dead. He's so dead. Not this guy. The guy who was beating the sister. Oh my god, I cannot wait. Oh no! Oh no. You're dead. I didn't expect him to die. I thought that the sister was gonna die. Okay, he's dead. You have unloaded like 80,000 bullets into him. You don't have to unload anymore. He's dead. He's gone. He is an ex-man. That's a really good shot too. Just, I love shots, like frames within frames, I should say. Really interesting for me.
Now you've had your drink.
Tell me. Tell him. Tell him. Tell him. Tell him. But I really appreciate... Oh, one sec.
We need him now.
I really appreciated how he said no acts of vengeance, because I feel like almost everyone else would want to enact vengeance upon everyone who did that to his son. But he is just so calm, and he knows what's best for everyone, and he can always put everyone in front of his wishes, because I bet he wants them dead too, but it wouldn't be best for everyone else, you know? It's really cool.
I don't want his mother to see him this way.
Yeah, you want him to look normal, right?
Look how they massacred my boy.
That's the line! That's the line! I'm sorry, it's really emotional, but it's really exciting because I know that line. Look how they massacred my boy. That's such a famous line. I forgot that this line was in this movie though.
Che succede? Brutte notizie. Dalla medica.
Oh no! Oh my gosh, lady. This was a moment. This was a moment.
Okay, anything you say, boy.
Does he think people are coming for him now? Oh, what a shot. Do you see that? That's beautiful. Oh my gosh, the lighting in this shot is what makes it beautiful. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
No! No!
Oh no, don't touch. I understood what was happening a second before it happened. As soon as he turned to look at the car, I was like, there's a bomb, but I didn't have enough time to say it before she exploded. Oh no. I liked her too. She was kind of like, oh, I really liked her. I know he had a girlfriend in America. I really liked her. But Apple Baloney's dead.
After all, we are not communists.
I don't want it sold to children.
Yes.
That's an infamia.
I love how respectful and respectable all of these people are. Even though they deal in like shady things, they still like are good people at heart, sort of, in a way.
And I'm going to blame some of the people in this room. And that I do not forgive.
Oh my gosh. I got chills. I got goosebumps. That was awesome. I believe him. I believe him. On the souls of his grandchildren. He is a man of his word. He is a man of his word, but oh my god, if they cross him, if they get to Michael, I believe he would slay every last one of them. He's back! He's back in America! Back in America. And he's like, did you know that I was married? In Italy?
Senators and presidents don't have men killed.
I mean, they do.
Okay. I need you. And I love you.
Oh, he finally said it, though. He finally said it. It's been 2.5 hours or something like that into this movie, and he finally said it.
There are things being negotiated now that are going to solve all your problems.
It feels like he's becoming the Godfather. Well, I mean, not the Godfather, because he's becoming Don's position. He's growing into that position. He's being molded by the Godfather to become that.
Maybe I could help.
You're out, Tom.
Tom really just wants to help, but I'm glad that he's out. I don't want him to die.
He's tired. He wants to clean up. All right, now, let me open the door, all right?
Why do they make those people wear... What the heck is happening? What the heck? He just comes in. I'd want to go to sleep. Why I wouldn't want this?
Not me about selling. Well, I'll make him an offer he can't refuse. See,
$1 million. I don't know. What is it?
Draw chips for everybody in the room so they can play in the house.
Oh, they're gonna gamble while they talk business?
You straighten my brother out.
He was banging cocktail waitresses 2 at a time.
It to straighten him out.
Don is semi-retired, and Mike is in charge of the family business now. Have anything to say it to Mike.
Yes, Mike is in charge now. Okay, that's cool. I thought that he looked in charge because he was sitting in the chair and everything. But I wasn't sure if he was in charge.
With anyone against the family again. Ever.
Oh my god. The threat. I love Michael. I love his character arc in this movie, from going from not wanting to be in the family to becoming the Godfather, before to becoming the next Don.
Well, let her ask.
No, she's afraid to. Connie and Carla want you to be godfather to their little boy.
Oh, so he will be a Godfather, so I can call him the Godfather. That's good. That's good news.
You absolutely trust. Guaranteeing your safety.
The shot is so gray. There is almost no color in this entire frame.
He's smarter than I am. 3 years old, he can read the funny papers. I did it already, Pop.
Good be
Pop,
anyone.
I took care of that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Oh no, his memory's starting to fade.
What's the matter?
Oh no.
What's bothering you?
Is his memory starting to fade, or is he just has something on his mind that he just keeps forgetting everything else?
I never wanted this for you.
I knew it! I knew he never wanted this for him.
That you would be the one to hold the strings. Senator.
The strings, like on the title that I talked about at the start. Oh my god, orange slice smile, orange slice smile. This is really wholesome. I never thought I'd see this in this movie. This is so wholesome. Is he okay? Is he okay? Are you having a heart attack, buddy? Is he dead now? Is he dead now for sure? The kid just squirting him in the face with the water and he's just dead in the yard. You know, maybe he'll grow into a new person. I can't believe, is he actually dead? No way he died. Oh my god, he died. He just died in the garden while chasing a kid. What? I thought he was in all of the movies. I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was in all the movies. I thought that's why it was called the Godfather saga, because he's in all of them, but I guess that title gets passed down to Michael. He looks so analytical. He doesn't look sad at all. Why doesn't Michael look sad at all?
Tessio's ground. Where I'll be safe.
That's good. That's good that he'll be safe, but not good for the other parties.
I've decided to be godfather to Connie's baby.
Yay! So the Godfather title can continue. Okay, that's cool. Wait, what? Is that like holy breath or something? I don't know. I've never been to a baptism before, but why did he do that? Why did he do that to the baby? Oh, this feels so heavy, and I love it. Oh my gosh. This sequence is so good. Why is this sequence so good?
Do you believe in Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord?
I do.
Do you believe...
I have chills right now and I don't even know why. I have so many chills. Oh no. Are they gonna kill everyone in this church? Are they gonna kill everyone in this church? Oh no. Everyone's about to just die. Everyone's about to eat it. Oh my god. Oh, it's all kicking off now. Oh, right through the eye. Ew, ew, ew. I do renounce them. Oh my god.
In nomine Patris et Filii.
Oh my god. These are the big five, right? These are the big five, if I'm not mistaken. That sequence was incredible. That was a masterfully filmed, masterfully executed sequence. As soon as the priest or whatever he is started talking over top of these different storylines kind of converging into one, I was like, this is gonna be amazing.
Sal, Tom, the boss says...
I'm so nervous when anyone just pops up into frame now in this movie. It's just like anyone could get shot at any second. Oh no. Oh no. I like this guy. I don't want him to die. Michael's so menacing now. What the heck? What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Is he gonna kill him? Or is he gonna hurt him in some way?
Go ahead, drink.
I don't know. I feel like he would make his sister a widow. I feel like he would.
Because it insults my intelligence. It makes me very angry.
Oh my gosh. When he's angry and he's just the monotone voice, it's even more scary than if he was yelling.
Come on, get out of my sight.
Get out of my sight, Buster. Oh, I'm still nervous. I don't think this guy will die. I'm always nervous that every character is gonna die in this movie now.
Hello, Carlo.
Oh no! I didn't think he was gonna die, but they just gave him false hope. Oh, he's dead. You know, I'm kind of glad that he dead because he was like beating his wife and stuff, but ew, the sound effects. Oh man, why didn't they just do it? Why did they have to get someone else to do it?
And you stood godfather to our baby. You lousy cook.
Oh my gosh.
Don't ask me about my business.
No.
Michael, you weren't like this before. You're so changed. You're so different from the start of the movie. What? You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. Oh my gosh. What a shot. What a shot. Again, frame within a frame. I'm a sucker for those things. Oh, initiated into the head honcho. And the door closes and the movie ends. Oh my gosh, one sec. It was Al Pacino. Okay, I was wondering if it was, because I only have really Al Pacino as like old Al Pacino. But it kind of looked like Al Pacino. Oh my gosh, that movie was so good. There's a lot of it in this movie, though. I feel like I didn't get the full grasp of what this movie wanted to tell. I feel like I need to watch this movie one or two more times to fully understand the story. Because there was a lot at play in this movie. A lot of characters, a lot of storylines, a lot of plot lines, a lot of motivations. And that was my reaction to The Godfather, the 1972 crime drama starring Al Pacino, Marlon Brando, Diane, Keaton, and James Caan, as well as quite a few other actors. But man, okay, as you all know, when I go into my reviews, go into the cast list, I search it up on Google, like the Godfather cast or whatever, and then boom, the cast comes up. Underneath that is always the reviews, the movie reviews. So I like to go through those reviews and just talk about them, see what maybe the critics got wrong, what the critics got right, stuff like that. I just think that reviews are kind of an interesting subject to talk about from movies. And this movie, I knew I had good reviews, but 100% on Metacritic, which means every single critic liked this movie, I believe. 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. There's like 3% of people who didn't like this movie. Like, who are they? And what are they doing in their lives right now? And 9.2 out of 10 on IMDb. That is phenomenal. Those reviews, those ratings are through the roof, and this movie deserved every second of those amazing ratings. This movie was a masterclass in filmmaking, and I can definitely see why people study this movie. People dig into this movie to find out how this movie was made, how this movie was formed, the acting in this movie, the score in this movie when it came in, the directing, the filmmaking, the writing, the characterization, all of it was top class. And I can understand now why this movie is in the top. I think it's in the top 5. I think it may even be the second, like second most highest rated movie on IMDb. And I'm just sad that it's taking me this long to watch it, to be honest, because I've been wanting to watch this movie for a long time, but the reason I haven't watched it is just because it's 3 hours long, and that's a long time. There's only a couple of movies that I've watched that are that long, like Lord of the Rings, for example, like the extended edition, which is like 4.5 hours long, but I can blast through that movie because I love it so much. But starting a 3 hour movie is always a very stressful situation, because if you don't like that movie, then it's 3 hours of your life that could feel really slow. But this movie it did not feel like 3 hours. It felt long, but not in a bad way. I feel like this movie felt more like a 2.5 hour movie than a 3 hour movie. It definitely, sometimes I'd look at my watch and go, oh wow, it's been an hour or something like that. And sometimes I'd look at my watch and be like, oh, it's only been 10 minutes since I last looked. So like, there were definitely moments where I was like, oh, how long is left of this movie? Because there were some points where I was like, I want to get to like this meeting or something, and they're still talking, and I want to get to this meeting. But then there are other points where it's like, I don't want this movie to end. Some of this stuff was so good. But yeah, I guess I should start talking about what actually happens in this movie. And I guess I'll talk about the story first. The story of this movie, I don't think I'm going to get everything in the story first go, just because there was so much happening in this movie. Of course, a 3 hour movie with 2 other parts after it, there's going to be a lot happening, a lot of setup for the next movies, and a lot of stuff happening in this movie as well. And the story was not as complicated as I was expecting it to be going into it. Of course, it was complicated, but there was a lot of stuff that I thought, when I went into this movie, I thought I was only going to get like half of the movie, and I was going to be really confused the whole time. But I wasn't confused most of the time. Sometimes the only thing that confused me was because there were so many characters and there were so many names. Sometimes I just forget which name correlated to whose face or whose person or whatever. So sometimes they'd say a name and I'd be like, who was that again? And it would take me a couple minutes, or maybe I just wouldn't even remember who that was. But yeah, the story was really good. Michael's character in the story was phenomenal. He was the best character, and actually one of the coolest kind of character arcs and well done character arcs I've seen in a movie for a long time. It was really, really awesome to see his character transform, but I guess I'll get to that when I talk about the characters and stuff. But yeah, the story was not too complicated. It was not complicated enough where you needed to necessarily know all of their names. You just kind of needed to know the general course of action, which was really cool, because there's definitely, if you watch this movie again and you can remember the names, remember the characters, and put a face to the names as they are talking about it, I think it'll be a lot easier to understand the plot of this movie, and is what you might get more information when you're learning about the plot as well. Like, I definitely feel like I missed something out in this movie just because I couldn't connect the faces to names a lot of the time, because there were so many. But yeah, the story was really good. I loved how it started out. It was started out a lot in, I'm pretty sure they were in New York, right? It started out a lot in New York, and then as the movie progressed, it kind of expanded itself to the rest of the world. Like, we were in Italy, we were in Vegas and stuff like that. So I thought that was really interesting. But the story was gripping, and I thought it was really cool that there wasn't a lot of action in this movie. This movie was just masterful directing and masterful dialogue, and then the acting as well, which added into that. The action in this movie was really good when it was in there, but there wasn't a lot of action in this movie. Not as much as I was expecting, actually. And this movie was mostly dialogue, and the story really lent itself to that, because that's kind of what these gangsters do, these mafia men do. And it was really, really cool to see this story unfold through this amazing dialogue, which I will talk about in a second. But the main action sequence that I want to talk about first is the end of the movie. Well, it wasn't really the end. There was still like 45 minutes left of the movie when it happened. But when the stepson, or the godson, is being baptized, and all of the heads of the 5 families are about to be assassinated at the same time, that sequence, it lasted 5 minutes, was one of the best montages I've ever seen in a film. Just the way that the music intertwined with the shot sequences and how the shots were laid out. It was like its own mini movie inside the movie, and that's kind of how montages should be. They should be their own mini movie. And there was a setup in these montages. There was a sequence that happening in like an action, or what do you call it? A starting action, whatever it's called, and then there was a climax to the montage, and then there was a resolution in the montage. It was that was basically a mini short film inside the larger film, and it was really, really awesome. The acting in that, just the tension that was built up slowly within those 5 minutes, the payoff was really, really good. Just the shock and the horror, but also like how I felt so excited in that moment, so exhilarated, and that just comes down to the filmmaking again, the directing, the action sequence in that was awesome. There definitely were a few surprises, like when the car blew up and the Italian lady, Michael's Italian wife lady, she blew up. I did not expect that until about half a second before it happened, and I was like, oh no, what the heck? Like, there are definitely a lot of surprises in this movie, but I feel like this movie was definitely more laid back. This movie, if I had to put it into words, it felt like Don Vito's, or Marlon Brando's Don Vito as a character becoming a movie, if you know what I mean. It was very laid back, but it's still heavy-handed, and still kind of, it knew what it wanted to do. Like, again, there wasn't a lot of action. It was mostly dialogue, and I guess I'll talk about the dialogue now. The dialogue was so good. It was thrilling. I hung on to every single word in this movie. It's 3 hours long. Again, with little action, you need the dialogue to be good, and the dialogue was really good. And again, the dialogue suited each character, because when I was watching this movie, I was thinking about Reservoir Dogs, because I watched that recently, and how good the dialogue was in that movie. And it's really interesting to think about this movie and think about Reservoir Dogs, because the dialogue in both movies is phenomenal, but the dialogue in both movies is also completely different, a completely different style of writing. Quentin Tarantino's writing is super fast-paced, super witty. Each character does have their own way of speaking, but I feel like there's so many words jam-packed into his movies. But in this movie, the dialogue was different for each character, was unique for each character, and like moved the story forward, just like in Quentin Tarantino's movies, and was thrilling to listen to. But it was way slower paced. It was like every single character besides maybe James Caan's character, Sony, I think was his name, besides that character, spoke very slowly, very articulately. They all knew what they were going to say before they said it. They all were very analytical with how they would approach a situation, very reasonable. And I thought that was a really cool thing, besides Sonny's character, Sony's character, that's just his personality though. All of the characters were like that, which I thought was a really cool difference from Quentin Tarantino's style of writing, where everyone does have their own way of speaking, but the dialogue for everyone is pretty fast-paced. At least that's what I saw in Reservoir Dogs. So yeah, I thought the dialogue was really interesting, really entertaining to listen to, and obviously it really enhanced the story, because if this movie had bad dialogue, bad writing in it, then this movie would have dragged for 3 hours, but it didn't. And yeah, I think that is maybe why this movie, I don't know, I'm going to have to watch this movie again to really understand why this movie is as good as the way it is, but I think that they just did everything so right. And speaking of everything so right, the directing in this movie, the cinematography, the lighting, everything with the camera and stuff, and the lighting and the sets was phenomenal. There were a lot of frame within frame shots in this movie, and I am a sucker for frame within a frame shots. I don't know why, I just really like the aesthetic of them, and some of them were really masterfully done. One of my favorite shots in the movie is just a still tripod shot, and the guy is putting on, I forget what's his name. It's like Pete. I think it was Peter in the movie. I'm not sure. He was putting on a bulletproof vest, and in the foreground, blurred out, was a gun, and the shot lasted about 15-20 seconds long, and he's like getting changed, puts on the bulletproof vest, and then goes and grabs the gun and go. But the whole story is told. The whole sequence story of that one shot is told at the very start when it's just the plain shot and the gun is in front and he's putting on the stuff, and you know what is going to happen in that shot before it actually happens, just because of how everything is placed in the shot. Just like stuff like really simple things like that, they did so well, and it was really, really awesome to see just how much care was put into every single frame. Another one of my favorite shots, it was just because it was so beautiful, was when Michael was in Italy and the guy is sitting at his chair and there's just the one red light hanging above him as he's like smoking a cigarette or something like that, and Michael comes up to ask him or something behind him. I forget what was actually happening in that scene, so I'm sorry that's so vague, but the shot itself was beautiful, the lighting was perfect, everything like that. Just, I don't know, everything in the shots, the composition of the shots and in general were just, again, masterful is the word of the day today. It was just like Francis Ford Coppola just knew exactly what he was doing with this movie, and there was a lot of the takes were really simple, a lot of the shots were really simple, they were very grounded shots, very like tripod heavy shots. There were some shots that would track the characters. There was one shot in particular when what's his face, the guy who got strangled in the car at the end, who was tricked into thinking that he was going to live and go to Las Vegas. There was a shot where he is trying to beat his wife with the belt, and there's like a 30-second long take of him running around the house, and she's like throwing stuff off of the counter and off of the chairs and stuff, and they're running around all these rooms, and it was just this really long take, and it was really like that as well was really good. So this movie kind of showcased a whole bunch of different filming techniques, shot techniques, which was really awesome, and it shows that Francis Ford Coppola has such a good grasp of how film should or can look on camera, and how to compose and craft a shot to tell a story before the story is actually told on screen, if you know what I mean. Like, just really cool stuff. Okay, getting into the cast now. Al Pacino as Michael. He was the first one on Google to get credit, so I will talk about him first. He was such an interesting character. He wasn't my favorite because Don Vito was my favorite, and he was really cool, but Michael quickly, maybe slowly because 3 hours long, halfway point of the movie, an hour and a half in, a whole one movie length, basically, he became my favorite character. He was so cool, and his character arc for the movie was one of the most well-crafted character arcs I have seen in a movie. Just this slow progression of him from becoming someone not wanting to be associated with his family to being the head of the family by the end of the movie was phenomenal to see, and it made total sense as the movie progressed. There was nothing about his character that at the end of the movie that I was like, this doesn't make sense for him because of the start of the movie. Everything that he did along the way to get to his final point made sense, and it was kind of satisfying actually to see him as the head honcho. And I know Don Vito didn't want him to be involved, didn't want Michael to be involved with the family, and he was a little bit sad that he did. But the way he looked at Michael, or the way he looked at it was Tom, right? When Tom told Don Vito that Michael had killed those two cops, he looked kind of sad. There were no words, but he looked kind of sad, and I was like, oh, is he kind of sad that Michael is kind of in the family now, in the family business? And then he says it out loud about an hour later, and I was like, oh, I guess that's so cool. But yeah, Michael, his character was really, really interesting, really intriguing, and the movie ends at the character's most intriguing moment in the movie, the moment where he becomes the head honcho of the family. They literally call him the Godfather or something like that. So that was really cool, and I'm really excited to see his character evolve in part 2 and part 3. I know part 3 was made 10 years after the second movie or something like that. It was made a while after the second movie, so I'm kind of confused if part 2 will fully end, and then they're like, oh, we need to make another part or something like that. But yeah, I'm very excited to see his character grow and change even more in the coming movies. Marlon Brando as Don Vito. What a character. What a character. He was so much fun to watch, and I totally understand why so many people riff off of him and rip this character off in other movies and play off of this very iconic role. He was amazing. The voice that he made, I don't know if that's his real voice. I don't think it was. I mean, that would have hurt me to talk like that for so long. Like, I feel like that would really hurt your vocal cords the way he talked, but he was so menacing, and he was menacing because he acted not menacing. He acted very calm, very casual, but very respectful of everyone. And even when he was mad, he kept his voice down to his normal speaking voice. He was very monotone about everything. I think that's what made him really scary to me, is because he didn't yell, and he used his words and he used his power to basically persuade people and scare people without needing to raise his voice. So that was a really cool character trait about him. I also really liked just how level-headed he was and reasonable he was. I love the line about vengeance where he said no need for vengeance or something like that. That was just a really cool thing that I think really added to his character. It was just a simple line, but it really showed what his character really stood for. And I don't know, I just thought him as the Godfather, it was the perfect casting, amazing acting, and just an amazing role that will probably stand the test of time forever, because it's just like Michael's character, I think he will as well. But the Godfather, Don Vito as a character, Marlon Brando as the actor for him, I think that character especially will always be one of those characters that will be remembered forever. I don't know, I just thought so good. The last person I'm going to talk about is, there's a lot of actors, so I'm obviously not going to get around to all of them. Everyone else, by the way, did an amazing job. There was no bad acting in this movie at all. From the guy at the start who did that opening monologue, which was beautiful, and I started tearing up even though I didn't know anything about these characters yet, all the way to the final shot of Kay Adams, of Diane Keaton looking at Michael, and the door closes on her. I feel like that is very symbolic of his now coming to power, of his difference from the start of the movie. But yeah, the next person I'm going to talk about is James Caan as Sony. I feel like James Caan was an elf. I honestly feel like he was an elf, but I'm not sure, so I'm just going to leave it. But if he's an elf, then call me a genius, because he looks like the guy in Elf. Anyways, he was really, really fun in this movie. Obviously, very hot-headed, very tempered. He's very aggravated all the time. He was kind of like, besides sometimes when Michael yelled at the end of the movie when he was like, stop, or something like that to Diane Keaton's character, Kay Adams, Sony was the one who was yelling quite a bit. And I'm glad that he died, because it made Michael in charge, and obviously Sony being the oldest son, I feel like he would have been the one in charge. But I also really liked his character, because even though he was very aggravated all the time, he still had a lot of love for his family, a lot of care, especially his sister Connie, I think that was her name. And I really was hoping that he'd go and kill her husband. Eventually Michael does, which was a very big shock to me, because I thought he was going to let him escape, even though I should have known Michael wouldn't have done that. He just killed the big five or something like that, the big five other families. So I should have known that he wasn't going to let that husband escape. But anyways, I was excited to see him. His death was actually kind of sad, but then his death also brought on the line, like, you killed my, or you, what's the line? It was that super famous line then in the movie that I was like, oh, I know that line, and I guess it was supposed to be a sad moment, but I got very excited because I knew that line. But yeah, I thought James Caan did an amazing job as playing this hot-headed son, but also showing that he has a lot of care in his heart, and he's kind of hot-headed just because that's kind of, he wasn't raised like that per se, but I mean, he's raised in a super powerful family, super wealthy, so it makes sense why he could be like that. But yeah, I thought James Caan did a great job, and again, just like everyone else in the cast as well did an absolutely phenomenal job. Okay, that is it for my review of The Godfather. I'm very, very, very excited for part 2 and part 3, but part 2 before part 3, so I'm very, very excited for part 2. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to these wonderful, beautiful, amazing people right here for supporting me, for supporting my channel. It means a lot. And thank you so much for listening to my review as well. If you made it this far, it means a lot for you just to listen to me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And I'll see you next time for my next movie reaction.